How many of you like science fiction movies? Wow. Okay, so how many of you like those kind of movies, those kind of science fiction movies where you have people that fly, that control the metal, that, I don't know, control the weather, that control your mind? One of my favorite movies, in one of my favorite movies, Professor X decided, after he saved the world a couple times, he decided to found a school where he will gather people with power, with abilities that other people doesn't have. He decided to put all of those people in the same place to show them that there are people like them, that they're not alone. And since those people are usually young people, he wanted to make them safe, because being surrounded with people who believe what you believe makes you feel safe. So he founded the school. He gathered a lot of people with different abilities, and then he come up with one sentence. He said that Genom X is something that makes those people different than the other people. Genom X is something that makes them to have that ability that other people doesn't have. So when I watched this movie for the first time, I was a kid, and of course this is science fiction and everything wasn't real. When I watched it for the second time, I was a little bit older, and unfortunately still this movie was unreal and still it's science fiction. Let me ask you again another question. How many of you would love to have some sort of ability to do something different than the other people? If we keep it simple, how many of you would use it in the other country, somewhere else where you are not, at some other country that you are not belong to, if we are not trying to save the world from everything? Okay, few. I'm glad. So today I'm going to share I'll get back to movies again, but today I'm going to share 5 advices that I followed through my career. These are advices from other great speakers, great writers, and these are not my intellectual properties, but I wanted to share this list with you. So the first advice that I like the most is being out there. Being out there surrounded by people who believe what you believe really makes a difference. We have an example. Back in 1963, a group of people, when we didn't have an internet and we didn't have tools like we do have today, 250,000 people come up together in one place to show up just to send a message as a group. They didn't come up because of Dr. Martin Luther King and his speech, "I Have a Dream." They came there because of the idea that he believed, and what he believed, they believed. They wanted to share, they wanted to send the message, and I think they made it. The second one is find the courage to speak up. Sometimes it's really hard to speak in front of people, and it's really hard to speak when you're surrounded by people who speak and speak and speak until they get to the point, or some of them never get to the point. It needs courage to stand up and say, "Hey, I have to say something." But when you do that, when you get that courage, please make sure that you say something smart. And the second thing is, please make sure you don't become the people that I just mentioned. To get your message across, you have to be an active listener too. And sometimes, or usually, the active listening is something that is key ingredient of delivering your message. Again, let's look back to Martin Luther King's speech. In 1963, he found the courage to say something in America that wasn't even close to America that is today. Third thing is find something you love and then think big. At the Stanford University, Steve Jobs had a speech, and he said, you've got to find what you love, and if you didn't find it, keep looking. When you do what you love, usually you fight for that harder than for something that you don't love. Since the work is going to take a big portion of your life, you have to work, or the only way to be satisfied with what you do is to do what you truly believe is worth the fighting. When you find something that you love, you gotta work hard. And when you work hard, that's the only way how you'll get the result that you want. In the meantime, you can be hit by a brick, but don't lose your faith. Just keep fighting. And when you find something you love, then think big. You gotta set your goals high. You gotta set them high to keep you motivated, to be inspired. You gotta set that goal high and set some smaller goals to get your shot of dopamine every time when you get closer to that higher goal. I have an example from my personal experience. At the beginning of my career, I couldn't find anything that I liked to work. I tried a couple works and I couldn't find anything that makes me happy. I tried a lot of time and I changed a lot of companies in the beginning of my career. And then one day, when I already had my wife, my 2 kids, I decided that I'm not going to work at what I do at that moment. I decided to quit. I told my wife, hey, I'm going to quit because I find that morning something that I love. I find something that I want to work in the rest of my career. And I quit that job. And I didn't have a plan B. I just quit, and I knew that something will pop up. The fourth is commit to your idea and never give up. Harvard Business School professor Rosabeth Moss Kettner said, everything can look like a fail in the middle. Don't give up on your idea. Don't give up what you love. Sometimes that means you'll need more time to get the result. It's like a gym. If you go there once or 2 times, you'll not see the results. But if you go there for a year, every day for 30 minutes, you'll see some progress. In my personal experience, when I quit that job, I wanted to have a company and I wanted to be surrounded with people who believe what I believe. And I tried once and I failed. I tried second time and I failed again. I tried third time and again failed. Fourth time, I succeed. And imagine what if Thomas Edison quit after the first or second or third time. When he created a light bulb, he says he had 10,000 tries, and he said, I didn't fail. I just find 10,000 ways that won't work. And the fifth one is yourself. Say what you believe, commit in what you believe, and you'll be surrounded by people who believe what you believe. One of my favorite speakers, Simon Sinek, wrote a book called Start With Why. In that book, he wrote 3 circles. One is why, the second is how, and the third one is what. And he said, whatever you want to do, start with why. Usually people start with what. What are you doing? We are creating faster cars. We are creating better computers, faster computers. But no one starts with why are you doing that? And he says, start with why. Be yourself and start with why. No one cares what you're wearing. Everyone cares, why are you doing something? I'm a professor. Okay, I teach students. That's cool, but why are you doing that? That's the most important question. Why are you doing that? And if I say I teach students because I love to share my knowledge, I want to see those young people growing to achieving their full potential. That's the key of that why question. What serves as a proof of what you believe? And what you believe is why you're doing it. If you follow these 5 steps that I've just mentioned, probably that won't get you ever higher than you are now. But if you find your Genom X from the beginning of this story, and if you follow these 5 advices, if you are there, if you speak up, if you do something you love, and if you are yourself, then maybe we're looking at next president, next leader, great writer, or great speaker. Thank you.